Good afternoon. My name is Wamon Buggs. Glad to be here today. I'm a retired Metro education teacher, coach, and I currently work for Judge Linda Jones as a court officer. I'm affiliated with several organizations, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. I'm a board member of the YES organization, and I believe in giving back to our young people. Today, I would like to read a book, Bippity Barbershop. I'm going to also show you the photos before I read the pages. And I will try to be as short and precise as I can. I wore my hair in a short, natural, about an inch long, all around for several years. My brother Omar usually cut my hair. When Omar was busy, I went to the barbershop. Most times, I was one of only a couple of women there. And while everyone was polite, I stayed on the outskirts of the special space that the men seemed to enter as soon as they walked into the shop. I noticed the way their chests swelled as they boasted of a promotion or a new baby. I noticed the softness in their eyes when they talked about the women in their lives, the way their fingers jabbed the air when they made a point in a heated discussion, and the way they folded their hands quietly in their laps as they sat thinking. Sometimes the little boy would come in to get his hair cut for the first time. The boy's father and the other men would do their best to make him feel comfortable and brave. It was a rite of passage, for once completed, the boy was welcomed into the fold, his spot among the men now secured. I was reminded of the special time my mother and I shared as she combed my hair. I saw the same gentleness, the same comfort, the same easy laughter flowing between them like water. There is something magical about the ritual surrounding our hair. Just as my first picture book, I Love My Hair, sought to capture this tender bond between mother and daughter. Bippity Barbershop celebrates the unique sharing I witnessed between father and son and among the men in the barbershop. These books are dedicated to the sacred spaces we create for one another, where we lay down our guards and defenses and lay our hands on each other's hearts, revealing and reveling in our unique beauty. Let us continue to create more of these spaces in aspect of our lives. I want to share a picture of a little boy sitting in a barbershop. Early Saturday morning, Daddy comes to wake me with our secret knock. Bippity bebop, bippity bebop bop. You up, little man? Daddy pokes his head into my room. I'm up, I say excitedly and jump out of bed. I can hardly wait. I'm going to get my first haircut at the barbershop. And this is a picture of Dad actually entering the room on the next page. Mama and my sister, Kiana, are still asleep. Daddy and I have the house all to ourselves. And here's a picture of Dad and son getting dressed to head to the barbershop. Quietly, Daddy and I dressed in matching blue jeans and gym shoes, then headed outside. And here's a picture of them heading outside. We turn onto Main Street and stop at Jack's Sweet Shop. Daddy orders a gooey cinnamon roll and black coffee and a glazed donut and chocolate milk for me. Miles is getting his first haircut at the barbershop today. Daddy tells Mr. J, "Is that so?" Mr. J asks, leaning over the counter. I nod yes. This calls for a celebration. I'll make your milk a double. Mr. J pours chocolate milk into a tall cup. Be brave, little man, he says as he hands it to him. We eat as we walk. Up ahead, I see the green and yellow awning and the white letters on the window that say Seymour's Barbershop. Next to the door is a short white barber's pole. It has red stripes which curl and swirl around it like strange fish swimming in a sea of white. And there's Mr. Seymour in the window with his wild gray hair dusting off his big, shiny chair. Mr. Seymour has been Daddy's barber since Daddy was a kid like me. Now he'll be my barber too. And here's a picture of the Seymour Barbershop. Inside the shop is crowded. Daddy stops to whisper something to Mr. Seymour, and then we walk to the back of the shop to find a seat. Hey there, Charles. Hey there, little man. What's going on? People call out as we pass. First haircut? One of the men asks me. I nod yes. Nothing to it, he says. Just gotta be brave. And here's a picture of the gentleman sitting in a crowded barbershop. All these people are telling me to be brave, but I don't know exactly what they mean. What does brave mean, Daddy? I asked. It just means that you're not afraid. Daddy says when we sit down, I practice being brave. As Daddy and I wait our turn, we watch two men playing checkers slap. One of the men slams his checkers on the board. King me, he shouts with his arm raised high. And here's a picture of the two gentlemen playing chess in the barbershop. Another group of men is clustered around the television at the back of the shop watching a basketball game. Come on, man, shoot the ball. What are you waiting for? Pass it, foul. That was a foul. The ref must be blind. Whew, that boy can fly. One man cheers when his favorite player finally makes a basket. And here's a picture of the gentleman actually talking to the television. Jazz music, loud voices, and laughter blend with the buzz of clippers and the soft swish whisper of scissors skimming loose hairs from a freshly cut head. I look at the men in the row of chairs in front of me. I can see their faces in the long mirror that runs along an entire wall of the shop. The man in Mr. Seymour's chair is getting his head shaved. Take it all off, he says. A patch of sunlight gleams right on the top of his bald head. And here's a picture of the gentleman with the bald head sitting in the barber chair. Another man has long, thick dreadlocks. He's getting a shave with a straight razor. When he leans all the way back in the chair, his locks almost touch the floor. The next man is getting his hair cut low all around. The clippers go back and forth, dipping and gliding across his head, making smooth waves that ripple through his hair. In the last chair, there's a kid, a little older than me, getting his big curly afro trim. Just a little off the sides, he says. But none of the styles I see look like me. And here are the pictures of the gentleman with the braids and the kid with the afro. And here's a picture of the little boy getting his first haircut. After a while, Mr. Seymour points toward Daddy and me and calls my name. Me? I look at Daddy and then at Mr. Seymour and then at Daddy again. You go first, Miles, he says, and pats me on the shoulder. Be brave, little man. I can hear my heartbeat in my ears and my knees feel wobbly, but I stand up and walk over to the chair. Mr. Seymour helps me up. The chair is so high that he drags a big white cape over to me to catch the loose hairs. What style would you like for your first haircut, little man? Mr. Seymour asks. I shrug my shoulders. I don't know. And here's a picture of Mr. Seymour asking him the question. Hairstyles. Mr. Seymour shows me a poster hanging on the wall with pictures of all kinds of different styles, but I don't see any that look like me. I take one more look around the shop, and when I see Daddy, I know right away which style I want. Cut low on top and shaved clean around, just like his. I whisper to Mr. Seymour, and he goes to work. And here a picture of the different haircuts on the barber's wall. Mr. Seymour takes out his pick. He picks my hair until it is fluffy and stands up high. Then with his scissors, he begins to cut my hair just like Mama used to do at home. But when he finishes with the pick and scissors, I hear him turn the clippers on. My heart starts beating fast again. Will the clippers hurt? What if Mr. Seymour accidentally cuts off my ear? And this is a picture of the little boy sitting in the chair petrified. And here's a picture of the barber, I'm assuming Dad, covering his face out of shame of the haircut. The loud buzzing noise is coming closer. Then I feel a tickle creeping up the back of my neck. I get so scared, I duck down as low as I can in the chair and throw the cape over my head. I peek out from under the cape when Mr. Seymour turns the clippers off. Daddy is squatting beside me. I tried to be brave, but I didn't know how. I say with tears in my eyes. So this is actually the little boy in the chair, and this is Dad comforting him. I think the clippers scared him a little bit, and Daddy comforted. You know, I was scared when I got my first haircut, Daddy says, and wiped my tears away. You were? I say yes with my eyes open wide, nodding. Daddy nods. But I'll tell you a trick. Pretend that you're a giant, so tall your head touches the sky, and the buzzing of the clippers is just the sound of airplanes zooming by. Or maybe you're a superhero saving the earth from a swarm of killer bees. Try it. I promise you won't be frightened anymore. And this is a picture of his dad in the chair, and this is a picture of the little boy seeming a little bit more calmer in the barber chair. So I close my eyes and think about giants and my favorite superheroes, but I can't picture any of them getting a haircut. Then I remember watching Daddy get his haircut, the way he sits up tall and closes his eyes halfway, like he doesn't have a care in the world. I think about how brave Daddy is, and I get brave too. When Mr. Seymour turns the clippers back on, I imagine that I have Daddy's long legs and wide shoulders. I sit up straight like Daddy, though I still squeeze the arms of the chair tightly. And when Mr. Seymour is through, there is a brand new me staring back from the mirror. Mr. Seymour rubs a dab of a sweet-smelling blue aftershave on my face and the back of my neck. It feels like a cool breeze. Then he dips a brush in powder and gently sweeps it over my head and neck. This is a picture of the little boy with his hair being completely cut. Daddy takes his seat in Mr. Seymour's chair, and when Mr. Seymour asks him how he wants his hair, Daddy says he wants a haircut just like mine. Daddy wants to look like me. When Mr. Seymour is finished, Daddy and I smile at each other in the mirror. You sure we're not twins? Daddy asks, raising one eyebrow. And this is a picture of Daddy and son after they got their haircuts. On the way out, some of the other men in the shop hold their hands up to me for high fives. Looking sharp, man, they say. Guess I can't call you little man anymore, Miles. You're one of the big boys now, Mr. Seymour says and shakes my hand. See you next time. And here's a picture of little Seymour exiting the barbershop. I hum a happy, proud song as we leave Mr. Seymour's shop. Bippity bop, bippity bebop bop. Daddy picks me up the tune. We walk to the rhythm of our music. Two cool cats, side by side. And here's a picture of Dad and his son leaving the barbershop. And that is the end of the story. Bippity bop barbershop.
Good morning, young people. How are we doing today? My name is Ashford Hughes. I actually work for the school district and I work with your teachers. Today, I'm going to be reading a book with you today called Brown Boy Joy. This book was written by Miss Tanisha Booker. I'm excited to read this book, so let's go. I am a brown boy joy, and I shine like gold, smiling ear to ear. I am fearless and bold. Small but mighty as I walk with pride. I am wonderfully made, future bright, eyes wide. No dream is too big. No, not for me. I am brown and amazing. Can't you see? I am brown boy joy, always reaching for the sky. I walk into a room with my head held high. You can tell by my stride, I am happy as can be. No one on earth can steal the joy inside of me. Wherever I go, no matter near or far, you will always find me shining like a star. With a heart so pure, I am loved by all. Walking into my glory, I am standing tall. Filled with love and light, I speak my mind. Take a look at me. I am smart and I am kind. Sitting on my throne like royalty. Brown boy joy. Yes, that's me. And that's the end. Remember, brown boy joy. You can be what you want to be. Everybody have a good day.
Hey everybody, my name is Eric Capehart. I am a professional counselor. I'm a person who helps people deal with some of the challenges that they may have in life. And today I'm going to be reading a book called When Grandpa Gives You a Toolbox. When Grandpa Gives You a Toolbox. You ready? Let's have some fun with this book. All right. Let's make sure I get the first page. All right, here we go. So, you wanted a special house for your dolls. But, surprise, it's a toolbox. A toolbox, yes. What should you do when Grandpa gives you a toolbox for your birthday? Maybe you're wondering, what should you do when Grandpa gives you a toolbox for your birthday? Next, you should compliment Grandpa as he shares photos of all the projects he's built since he was a kid, just like you. Once Grandpa runs out of stories, give him a hug, say thanks, and tell him you're off to find a special place to keep your toolbox. Do not launch it into outer space. Do not feed your toolbox to T-Rex. Or do not tie it to a wrecking ball. There are plenty of hiding spots right in your own backyard. It'll be easy for you to forget about Grandpa's toolbox until you meet someone in need and have an idea. Maybe Grandpa's toolbox will be useful, just maybe this one time. And as a new builder, you'll want to find an experienced project manager to help you get started. Together, you'll create a plan and gear up. But remember, safety first. With guidance and lots of practice, you'll discover that you're actually quite handy with your toolbox. You see, all the things you can do with the toolbox. You can use your hands and create new projects. Your neighbor won't complain about the noise, although she will ask for help with repairs sometimes. And she's going to tell all of her friends that you can help her too. Lots of things you can do with Grandpa's toolbox. And at the end of the day, they'll offer to pay you, but you'll have an even better idea. You and Grandpa will work together, measuring and sawing, drilling and hammering, gluing and painting, until finally you've built exactly what you wanted to build. A special house for your dolls. The end. There you go. Did you like that? It's a book about what you can do when your grandpa gives you a toolbox. Maybe you don't know what you can do, but this book gives you ideas of what you can do and how you can be helpful to your friends and your neighbors. Hope you enjoyed the book.